everybody, and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Music Weekly. It's May 27th, 2023, and this is the show where I give you guys the biggest prog news headlines for the week, introduce you guys to some cool new prog singles, and give you updates on the channel and what's going on here. So thank you guys so much for joining, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. It's much appreciated. Finally reached that landmark, over 3,000 subscribers. Really happy about that. That happened a couple weeks ago, so I'm really grateful for everyone's support. And any likes or comments on the video are also very helpful for me in growing the channel. So thank you guys. Really happy with the group that I've assembled here as part of this channel. So really been great. So today's news headlines, I feel like it's a little bit sparse perhaps. There wasn't much going on from what I was finding, but please let me know in the comments what I may have missed and maybe didn't cover on the channel or on the show here this day. So the first thing I like to do is talk about the new releases that have come out. And this weekend saw the release of Seven Impale's Summit. This is a fantastic band that plays a very cool blend of progressive rock and some jazz fusion and things like that. So a bit heavier and really great music. Definitely one I'm going to cover on the channel upcoming. It really surprised me and has become one of my favorite records of the year. So definitely going to talk about Seven Impale. They're from Norway and just an incredible band on Charisma Records. Fantastic. Definitely check that one out if you haven't yet. So that was the big release. I've been listening to a few more minor releases that have come out from bands like the Intersphere. And so I'm interested to listen more to those, but I'll talk about those probably more in upcoming episodes. So, but mainly the Seven Impale record I thought was really great. Item number 2, I saw some sad news, perhaps. Kansas announces the departure of longtime member David Ragsdale, who, of course, has been an incredible violinist for the group, but the violin is a really remarkable part of the Kansas sound, so he's been a really important band member that's been part of their lineup for quite some time. And he first joined in 1991. His first tenure with the band lasted until 96. And he appeared on the live album Live at the Whiskey and the studio album Freaks of Nature. Then he rejoined Kansas in 2006 and has been a very important integral member of their lineup for the past 17 years. Unfortunately, he just had to leave the group. His departure won't impact their upcoming tour dates. They have a lot of tour dates planned for this 50th anniversary tour they're doing. And the band announced that violinist, guitarist Joe Dinenzon will be succeeding David Ragsdale. He's the lead singer and violinist for progressive rock band Stratospheris, which just released their 6th album, Behind the Curtain, live at Prog Stock. So another notable prog musician coming into the fray, so hopefully it won't be too disruptive to their progress and to their sound. They've had some really great late career records lately. I think they're having a little bit of a renaissance here and some great touring, really high marks on their live performances as well. So hopefully, even though it's a sad departure from a very important member of the group, hopefully they're able to soldier on and do some great shows and some great albums in the future. So that was the biggest piece of news I saw in the prog camp. Item number 3, Asia is to release reunion album Phoenix for the first time as a 2-vinyl LP set. Of course, Asia are a multi-platinum selling English rock band who formed in 1981, celebrated their 40th anniversary in 2021. This is a bit of a supergroup of sorts with a lot of different members, very notable in the prog space, of course. But it was an interesting, more pop-ier direction for the band, moving into the 80s where a lot of these prog bands really turned into more pop musicians and did a lot more in that lane because prog was just not really a popular genre at the time. And so this was their album that came out, let's see, originally released in 2008. Their first studio album with the original lineup in a quarter century. Their 1982 self-titled debut album really did well in the market. #1 in several countries. Lead single Heat of the Moment was really a popular one. So this was a really celebrated reunion release that came out in the 2000s, this Phoenix album that a lot of people really enjoy. So it's cool that it's coming out on a 2 vinyl LP set. So should be really cool. Features vocalist John Wetton, ex of King Crimson, guitarist Steve Howe, keyboard player Jeff Downs, and drummer Carl Palmer from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So really cool, great sleeve with Roger Dean artwork, and so should be an interesting release if you guys are interested in that one. Item number 4, I wanted to mention, it's been a little bit of time, a week or so, but Peter Gabriel's I.O. World Tour kicked off, and there's a lot of videos online of how that went. Kicked off in Krakow, Poland. 18,000 capacity arena there, playing his first solo engagement since 2014's Back to Front tour. Really cool long set that featured all of the solo singles that he's been releasing throughout this year. You know, it's on the full moons of each month he's releasing a new single. So far it's been I.O., Panopticon, The Court, Playing for Time, and 4 Kinds of Horses have been the 5 singles which I've featured a lot on this channel in the Prog singles list, so definitely all worth checking out. Hopefully those will all be compiled into basically a new album from him by the end of the year. So interesting release schedule, but all those singles were really given some showcase on the sets, of course with some big favorites and some of his most seminal solo songs like Red Rain, Don't Give Up, Big Time, Salisbury Hill, and of course an encore of In Your Eyes and Biko. So really cool set, some cool live videos out there if you want to see it. So I just wanted to mention that since Peter Gabriel's such a big prog musician that he deserves some mention here with his big world tour starting off and seemingly going really well. And then I wanted to mention item number 5, the announcement of Haken and Riverside, who are headlining Midsummer Prog Festival. UK prog rockers Haken and Polish proggers Riverside will headline this year's Midsummer Prog Festival, which takes place at the Open Luke Theater in Valkenburg, South Netherlands on June 23rd and 24th, the first year that the event is spread across 2 days. And there's a lot of great artists that are listed for this festival. We've got Frost, Von Hertzen Brothers, Airbag, Mir, the Deer Hunter, King Crow, the Windmill, and Cobra, the Impaler. A really cool group of musicians. A lot of bands that I've talked heavily about on this channel. In fact, Mir was my favorite album from 2021, and last year's favorite album was The Deer Hunter, with Von Hertzen Brothers coming in a close second. So really playing in my wheelhouse of all the bands that I have really loved and enjoyed over the past couple years. And Haken and Riverside are right at the top of my list for favorite albums for this year. So it's really all the bands that have been circling around my favorites lists for the past couple of years are really all part of this festival. Of course, you know, not something I can attend because I live over here in the U.S., very far from where this festival is taking place, but I felt like it was worth mentioning because of the pedigree involved in that and some of my favorite groups on the lineup. So getting into our prog singles list, I've got a couple really interesting things, some older tracks that are being revisited, some cool new stuff. So we've got Ray Alder, of course, the vocalist from Fate's Warning, who's releasing a solo album called 2 on June 9th, which is fast approaching. The track is called My Oblivion. Really great song. Ray Alder comments that for the song, I imagined a sort of anti-hero who is doing what he does best, lay waste to everything in his path. I guess it's my homage to action revenge type movies. I felt the music needed something like this, story heavy and dark, but with an edge. I think Mike and Craig did an incredible job on this one. So another great single from Ray Alder. He's released a few from this upcoming solo album, so that's something for Fate's Warning fans and just really, really good music. I put Yes's Circles of Time. They released a new video for Circles of Time, which is the last track on the main disc of the album, of their latest album, Mirror to the Sky, which I've talked a lot about on this channel. I really like the album. I know some people have some mixed opinions, but I think overall it's getting a lot more positive reception than The Quest did. Really a lot of energy and a lot of interest there. And Circles of Time is very centered on John Davison and his vocals, and a really sweet sounding song that closes out the record. So really worthy and a really great track that I really enjoy from the record. 3, I've got Haken's Love Bite, a live version. They put a video out with lots of live stills and stuff from the shows that they've been doing. Love Bite's a really fantastic song that really balances and blends the prog and pop stylings of Haken. Really one of my favorite tracks of the year, so cool to see it revisited in this way. Number 4, a new track to me, Swan Dive, and their track The Oculist. This is a new prog metal project from former Karnataka and current Haley Griffiths keyboard player Kagri Tuzluglo, along with vocalist and guitarist Adam Dunn, who combine effectively on this debut single. Really some cool hints of melodic prog combined with a more gritty metallic edge that never overpowers the song but makes for a really great listen. Definitely recommended. And then finally, Solstein Hamada. Jacob Holmlupo is the character here who's part of this track. Aside from the news, he's reactivated White Willow. He also trades under the banner of folky rockers The Opium Cartel. So this is a really cool track, very jazzy inspired, kind of has that Steely Dan Toto type feel with a lot of cool instrumentation, very chilled out instrumental music that's very enjoyable. So it was a track that stood out to me that I really enjoyed this past week. So some really cool stuff to check out. I hope you guys liked some of the stuff that I mentioned here. Like I said before, put in the comments anything that you heard or that you liked, or news headlines that you heard about that maybe I didn't mention on the channel, or that are in different genres and related and things. So on the channel itself, I felt like it was another good week for the channel. I did a review of Arjen Lucason's Supersonic Revolution project and their album Golden Age of Music, so check out that review if you haven't yet. A really cool throwback, nostalgia-driven hard rock album from that 70s style of bands, like Deep Purple and Uriah Heep and all of those styles. So really fun listen through, really cool album, and I had fun talking about that one. And then I did a top 5 of Prog one-album wonders. They're bands that only released one album, and got a lot of fascinating comments on that one. It got more attention than I even expected, so I'm really grateful that people liked that episode. And I felt like my list was a bit all over the place, but it seems like people respected at least some of my choices and enjoyed the episode, so hopefully you'll check that one out also. And I did a classic albums with Jana before that this past weekend of Lynyrd Skynyrd's Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, where we did a reaction to Freebird and then talked about the full album afterwards, and that was a great time. So upcoming this week, got some really fascinating reviews. I'm doubling up on reviews because I have so many that I want to get through. So there won't be a top 5 this week, but there will be 2 reviews. One for Mystery's new album Redemption. Fantastic record. I can't wait to talk about it. And then Einar Solberg's solo album 16, which comes out next Friday. So really cool albums, both that I really have been loving and I'm really excited to talk about. I hope you guys will check out those reviews. And then we'll do another, of course, Prog Song Sunday with Jana this weekend. Classic Rush song should be on the bill, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that one. I think it's going to be a fun episode for everybody. So a great time on the channel. I'm really excited about all the music that's coming out. Had a lot of fun featuring all of this stuff, and I hope you're enjoying the channel. It's really been great to see a bit of a surge in viewership and in subscribers. It really warms my heart and makes me feel good about this project that I am going through, and it's really a fun thing that I get to do each week. So thank you guys for all your support, and I hope you're enjoying the music out there. Bye everybody!